The next morning begins with silence. Mai wakes to find Hung already dressed, typing on his phone. His voice carries softly from the hallway, calm and careful. "Of course, Lan An will handle it soon," he says. The name burns into Mai's chest like a spark. He ends the call quickly when he sees her watching. "Just business," he says, smiling too easily. Mai nods, but the lie hangs heavy in the air. At breakfast, her parents talk about the garden. They don't notice the way Hung watches the house plans. His eyes trace the property lines like a map to treasure. Later, when he leaves for work, Mai searches his office. Folders line the shelves in perfect order. One drawer sticks, then opens with a sigh. Inside, she finds copies of their mortgage, insurance, and deeds. Red pen marks surround her parents, names like targets. Her stomach twists as she scans the numbers. Projected resale value. Profit margin. Potential buyers. The words feel colder than steel. Mai closes the drawer carefully, her heartbeat loud in her ears. The house suddenly feels like a stranger. Every photo, every beam her father built carries a shadow now. That night, she lies awake listening to the hum of the refrigerator. At midnight, light leaks under the study door again. She moves quietly, bare feet soundless on the tile. Through the crack, she sees Hung bent over the desk. His camera clicks softly, page after page. He isn't documenting. He's stealing. Mai steps back, her breath caught in her throat. Her mind races through blueprints and numbers. She knows what he's doing. Preparing a sale. Preparing a life without them. The next morning, she tries to sound normal. He kisses her cheek, his charm polished as ever. "Think about your parents," he says, pouring coffee. "They'd be happier in a senior community." Mai grips the mug to stop her hands from shaking. "They love their garden," she replies. He smiles thinly. "They'll adjust." When he leaves, she calls her father's old friend at the bank. He confirms a strange inquiry about refinancing. Her name was missing from the form. Mai ends the call and sits in silence. The ticking clock sounds like a countdown. Outside, her parents laugh, planting new seeds. They have no idea the ground beneath them is being sold. She presses her palm against the window glass. The reflection of her face looks like someone else. Someone who can't just stand and watch. She opens her laptop and begins searching legal names. Property trusts. Protective clauses. Anything that can build a wall around what they love. Her engineering mind starts to draw lines, to build defense. Each click becomes a silent promise. This house was built with love. It will not fall to greed. Not again. Not while she still has strength to fight. The cafe smells of burnt espresso and rain. Mai sits in the corner, her hands trembling around a cup. Across from her, Fuang slides a stack of papers forward. Her eyes are sharp, the same as back in college. "Start from the beginning," she says quietly. Mai tells her everything, from the late-night photos to the insurance form. Fuang listens without interrupting, her pen tapping against the page. When Mai finishes, silence stretches between them. Then Fuang exhales slowly. "He's planning a transfer, maybe a forged consent," she says. Mai's stomach tightens. "What can we do?" Fuang's mouth curves into a small, deliberate smile. "We outsmart him. We make the law our armor." She draws a diagram on a napkin, boxes and arrows linking names. "A family trust," she explains. "It looks like a gift, but it's a fortress. Once signed, no one can break it." Mai leans closer, hope flickering for the first time in weeks. Fuang continues, voice steady like a metronome. "Your parents retain lifetime rights. He can't sell, can't borrow, can't touch it." Mai bites her lip. "He'll notice." "He'll think he's winning," Fuang says. "That's the beauty of it." Rain begins to fall outside, tapping against the window like soft applause. Mai signs her name on the first draft that night. The paper feels heavier than metal in her hands. At home, she waits until her parents are asleep. She copies their IDs, scans every title deed, labels every file. Each click sounds like a hammer hitting steel. In the morning, Fuang arrives at the house with a calm smile. Her heels click on the tile floor as if she belongs there. Hung greets her politely, unaware of the trap forming around him. Property adjustments, she says, showing him the documents. Minor legal updates, just for clarity. He skims them, nodding, his ego too large to question details. Mai watches his pen move across the page, her pulse pounding. Every stroke of ink locks another wall into place. Her father's signature comes next, strong and sure. Her mother wipes her eyes, whispering, "We trust you, Con Guy." When it's done, Fuang gathers the copies, sliding them into her case. "Now," she says softly, "you breathe." But Mai can't yet. That night, she stands in the garden beside her father's tomato vines. Wind carries the scent of wet soil and quiet defiance. Inside the kitchen, Hung hums a tune, oblivious. He raises a glass of wine, toasting himself in the reflection of the window. Mai turns away, gripping the iron railing. The fortress is built, but the battle is not over. Her phone buzzes. A message from Fuang. Trust filed, legally binding, he's locked out. Mai stares at the glowing screen, breath catching in her throat. For the first time in months, she feels something like safety. Not victory. Not yet. But the steady pulse of a foundation that won't break. The tension begins quietly, like a crack beneath paint. Hung starts coming home later, his excuses polished and calm. Mai stops asking questions, her silence becomes armor. But every word he speaks now feels rehearsed. He talks about market value and smart investments. His eyes no longer see a home, only numbers. One afternoon, Mai finds a voicemail from the bank. A polite voice mentions refinancing inquiries under his name. Her breath catches as the pieces align. He's trying again, reaching for what the trust locked away. She opens his laptop while he showers. The password is unchanged, arrogance disguised as confidence. Emails flood the screen, plans, spreadsheets, messages to Lan Ann. One subject line freezes her blood. After the old folks are gone. She opens it, trembling. The words blur, but the meaning is clear. Once they move out, we flip the property within 6 months. Her hands shake, but her mind steadies. She copies every file onto a small flash drive. The fan hums overhead like distant thunder. In the reflection of the dark screen, she sees her own eyes. Not fear, but precision. She knows how to calculate loads, to find weak points. Now she's applying that same skill to a marriage. That night, she smiles through dinner. Her parents talk about the garden harvest. Hung praises the tomatoes, pretending warmth. Mai joins the conversation. Her voice even. Inside, she counts down the seconds until he leaves the table. When the door closes behind him, she exhales sharply. She calls Fuang. "We have proof," she whispers. Fuang's voice comes calm and low. "Good, now we protect your parents completely." They plan in fragments, in code, over midnight calls. Mai learns new words: fraud, concealment, property fraud statutes. Each term feels like a weapon forged in silence. 2 days later, she visits the bank herself. The manager, an old friend of her father's, listens carefully. He promises to flag any suspicious request. "Your father once helped rebuild my fence," he says softly. "I won't let anyone tear his house down." Mai leaves the bank with shaking legs, but a stronger heart. When she returns home, Hung greets her with wine and charm. "You've been quiet lately," he says, watching her too closely. "Just tired," she answers, forcing a smile. He leans closer, voice smooth as glass. "You know, if anything happened to you, I'd take care of them." The words drip with false comfort. Mai meets his eyes, unflinching. "I'm sure you would." That night, she writes everything down in her journal. Dates, names, conversations, evidence in ink. Her father's voice echoes in her head. You build strong foundations by knowing where they can crack. She looks around the room, every beam familiar. This house won't crumble again. She saves the file, hides the drive beneath the floorboard. Outside, thunder rolls over the hills. It feels like warning, but also like promise. Morning light cuts through the blinds like thin blades. Mai sits at the kitchen table, her coffee untouched. Hung walks in, briefcase in hand, face already tight. He drops a stack of papers beside her plate. Our accounts don't match, he says, voice too calm. Mai glances at the papers, heart steady. I noticed irregularities too, she replies softly. He narrows his eyes, reading her face. You changed something. I protected what was already mine. Silence stretches like wire ready to snap. He forces a laugh, cold and sharp. Protected from who? Your husband. Mai's eyes don't flinch. From anyone who forgets what family means. He leans forward, both palms flat on the table. You think you can win this? It's not a game, she says. It's home. The clock ticks louder, marking the collapse between them. That afternoon, they sit across from each other in Fuang's office. Legal folders fill the table like silent witnesses. Fuang's voice is calm, controlled, deliberate. These are the trust terms, she begins. Lifetime residence, rights for Mr. and Mrs. TR letter 1EA7N. Hung's pen freezes midair. What is this? He demands. Protection, Fuang replies evenly. His jaw tightens, eyes darting from Mai to the lawyer. This wasn't part of our discussion. It should have been, Mai says. Fuang continues, reading clause after clause. No sale, no mortgage, no removal without consent. Each sentence feels like a lock clicking into place. Hung's composure fractures. He rises suddenly, knocking over his chair. I'll review this with my attorney, he snaps. Please do, Fuang answers without blinking. He storms out, the door slamming behind him. Mai stays seated, her pulse pounding in her throat. Fuang pours 2 glasses of water, pushing one toward her. You did well, she says. He's cornered now. But Mai doesn't feel victorious. She feels hollow, like a beam holding too much weight. That night, dinner is silent. Her parents sense the tension, but say nothing. Hung cuts his steak methodically, his eyes dark. Retirement communities have better medical access, he mutters. Her father's fork scrapes against the plate. They have everything we need here, he replies firmly. Mai's phone vibrates in her lap. A message from the bank. Hung attempted access again. She excuses herself, heart hammering. In the kitchen, she dials Fuang with shaking hands. He's trying to use the house as collateral, she whispers. Then we move to phase 2, Fuang says. Later that night, Hung's car disappears into the dark. Mai unlocks his office, light spilling across polished wood. In the drawer, she finds a folder marked private. Inside are loan drafts, fake valuations, forged signatures. Emails with Lan Ann confirm every betrayal. Once she signs power of attorney, we're clear. Mai copies everything, each click sealing his fate. By the time his headlights return, the evidence is safe. She closes the laptop, breath steady. The war is no longer hidden. Tomorrow, it will begin in daylight. The court hearing ends with the sound of finality. Hung's lawyer speaks in circles, but the truth stands firm. Fuang presents the trust, the signatures, the forged drafts. The judge's gavel falls once, echoing like thunder. The property remains under Mrs. Mai's sole protection, he declares. Hung's shoulders slump as the verdict sinks in. Lan Ann looks away, her eyes glassy with defeat. Outside, the city hums with ordinary life. Mai breathes for the first time in weeks. Her parents hold her hands, silent but proud. No victory speech is needed. Only relief. Days turn into calm routine. The house feels lighter, as if walls can exhale again. Mai replaces the dead roses on the counter with sunflowers. Her mother hums while cooking. Her father laughs at a neighbor's joke in the yard. Each small sound repairs a fracture. The neighbors start visiting again. They bring food, warmth, and easy conversation. No one mentions the trial, but everyone knows. One evening, Fuang visits for dinner. She raises her glass, smiling softly. "You built a fortress and called it home," she says. Mai smiles back, eyes glistening. "It's stronger because of everyone who helped." Her parents nod, pride glowing behind tired eyes. After Fuang leaves, the night settles gentle and quiet. Mai steps outside, barefoot on cool stone. The garden breathes with life again. Tomato vines climb the trellis her father repaired. She touches a leaf, feeling its steady pulse. Inside, laughter drifts from the dining room. Her mother teases her father about overwatering the basil. It feels like music. It feels like peace returning. The next morning, she changes the locks. The key clicks in her hand, light and final. She installs cameras, updates passwords, closes every loophole. Not out of fear, but assurance. Each precaution is an act of love. Hung moves out quietly 2 days later. He leaves his keys on the counter, no note attached. His car disappears down the street and doesn't return. Mai stands by the window, not crying, not smiling. Just breathing. Her father joins her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Concrete cracks," he says softly, "but it can be rebuilt." She nods, watching sunlight spill across the lawn. For the first time, the house belongs to peace, not control. That night, her family gathers around the same old table. No contracts, no tension, just food and warmth. Her mother passes a bowl of soup with trembling joy. "To new beginnings," she whispers. Mai lifts her spoon, steady and sure. The taste of home fills her mouth, simple, strong, real. The walls seem to hum with gratitude. Every nail, every beam remembers. What was once fear has become foundation. The house stands, quiet and proud, refusing to fall again. 6 months pass beneath quiet skies and softer mornings. The garden overflows with green, alive with small triumphs. Mai kneels beside her father, planting new seedlings. His hands are slower now but steady, sure as ever. "Measure twice," he murmurs, smiling. "Even the earth deserves precision." She laughs, brushing dirt from her palms. Her mother sets the table on the patio, arranging simple dishes. Neighbors arrive with laughter and plates of food. They bring casseroles, wine, and gentle stories. The house hums with voices that once fell silent. Lanterns glow under the maple branches, swinging in the breeze. Mai watches her parents share a plate of warm bread. They lean close, whispering like young lovers again. Fuang appears with a folder tucked under her arm. Her smile carries the weight of secrets kept safe. "Everything's finalized," she says. "The trust is sealed forever." Mai thanks her quietly, eyes glimmering in the light. When the guests leave, only the sound of crickets remains. She gathers her parents at the patio table. A small folder rests between them. Her father tilts his head. "What's this?" Mai pushes it forward, hands trembling slightly. "Read it," she whispers. They unfold the papers carefully, glasses slipping down their noses. Her mother gasps first, fingers covering her lips. Her father blinks through the words, voice breaking. "The deed, our names, our home." Mai nods, tears gathering at the edge of her smile. "It's official now. It's always been yours, but now it's written." Her mother's tears fall freely, bright as candlelight. Her father reaches across the table, clasping her hand. "No paper can measure this love," he says softly. The three of them sit in silence, bound by gratitude. Overhead, the stars blink awake one by one. Later that night, Mai writes in her journal by lantern glow. Her pen moves steady, her heart unburdened. When someone asks you to trade roots for promises, walk away. Home isn't bought. It's built one truth, one act of courage. She closes the journal and looks toward the garden. Her parents, laughter drifts from the guest house window. Peace fills the air, deep and certain. The next morning, sunlight pours through the kitchen again. My brews tea, the scent of basil and mint rising softly. Her father teaches a neighborhood boy how to sand wood. Her mother prepares food for the community workshop. Every sound feels like a heartbeat. The doorbell rings, but it's no longer a warning. It's Mrs. Peterson from next door, smiling with fresh bread. They talk about life, about rebuilding, about endurance. When she leaves, my plants a new row of peonies. Their roots sink deep, unshaken by wind or time. She looks up at the house, its windows glowing gold. Her voice is low but firm. This foundation will never break again. A red bird lands on the fence, bright against the dawn. It stays, unafraid, watching as the day begins anew. The evening sun turns the windows to gold. Mai stands in the doorway, the scent of soil on her hands. Her parents laugh inside, their voices light and steady. The house feels whole again, breathing with quiet pride. She looks at the walls her father built, still strong after storms. Each scar in the wood tells a story of endurance. Hung is gone, a shadow erased by light and time. The papers are signed, the trust sealed, the fear ended. Mai exhales slowly, the air warm against her skin. This is what survival sounds like, soft, constant, alive. She walks through the garden, touching the growing vines. Every leaf hums, with the memory of struggle turned to strength. In her pocket rests the small flash drive, now a relic of war. She will keep it, not as proof, but as reminder. That protection is love written in quiet decisions. She kneels, planting one last flower by the path. Its petals unfold toward the fading light. Her voice is almost a whisper. Some roots can't be stolen. The wind carries the words through the house. They settle in the walls, in the soil in her heart.